Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're well. Same process as ever, with mics on either side of the room. We'll take a show of hands for questions, and we'll set an embargo towards the end for 10:30 p.m. on Saturday evening. Someone to start?
Afternoon, Pep. Is Erling going to be fit for Sunday? He's okay. And any word on Rodri?
I think we'll be ready to help us. Not, I don't know from the beginning, but hopefully can be with us.
Have you had to try and hold him back a bit? I imagine he's desperate to play.
And 18 more players too. Yeah. Everyone is desperate to play. Of course, I've been out a few times, and everybody knows how important he is for us.
Bournemouth, second in the Premier League, only one defeat. What do you think they could realistically achieve this season?
Question for Iraola, but it's not. So it's not. I would say it's just 9 games, but it's not just games. It's games plus previous season. So it's a consistent team and fantastic team, manager, players. So tough opponent, but we know.
Afternoon, Pep. Phil Foden could make his 200th Premier League appearance.
How many?
200th
Wow.
Premier League appearance this weekend. Just for you, what has it been like to see him grow up, I suppose, from 17 years old to see him now at 25?
It's an honor for me to have seen these 200 games close to him, and the impact has done for us, for the club of his heart, and it's a good milestone, especially at his age, I would say.
Would you like to see him back in the England squad? It gets announced next week. He's
it's a question
out.
for Thomas. He has to play as best as possible. Of course, the contention is not easy. English players are fantastic in his position. There are a lot, many. I have to play good every day, and after Thomas will decide the best for the national team.
Andoni said this morning that he feels Manchester City are more dangerous on transition. Just wonder, how do you feel that part of your team has developed in the last 12 months?
Yeah, if he says, maybe he's right.
And just final one from me. Omar Mamouche has had a bit of a stop-start season so far with injury. Just wonder, how do you feel the goal maybe midweek might help his confidence, and also how has he adapted to life?
Of course, the people who play up front, score goals, always give a lot of confidence. Hopefully can continue and grow up on the goals and his game and everything.
Hi Pep. Oscar Bob was the only player to keep his place for the Swansea game in midweek. How do you assess his season so far, and how close to his best is he at the moment?
Considering last season was out all the season for the tough injury, so he started really well playing the first 2-3 games, and after he didn't play because I rotate the team, but he has to believe. On the moment he's going to believe himself how good he is, he will make the next step in his career as a football player.
And can I just ask you about Antoine Semenyo as well? 6 goals and 3 assists for Bournemouth so far this season. Just what makes him so dangerous at the moment?
It's not that season, last season, the previous. So for the way the Bournemouth play, suit perfectly for him. So he's extraordinary play.
Hi, Pep. We've seen teams in the past, Chelsea under Conte, Leicester, win the title when they haven't had European football. Obviously, Bournemouth haven't got it, United haven't got it, Sunderland are up there as well. How dangerous are those teams in the title race when they haven't got that midweek fixture and they can just focus week after week on the Premier League?
We are used. Dortmund played on Friday yesterday. Today is Friday? Yeah, I was going to play today. So have 2 more extra days. So we are used. In all the seasons we play here, as in decade, always we have sometimes no, but most of the times less recover than the opponent. So it's not a problem, I would say.
Over the course of the season, how big an advantage could that be for a team like Bournemouth, who've just got 38 games to?
It's a question. Don't ask me. I will respond to you, but it's a question for Iraola. What is the situation? Don't play, have a long week. So only I can say that you can sustain this gap of less games or less time. I would say less games and less timing or less days before the games. You see, we are you have the full squad. When that's happened, you can handle it. When you don't have it, it's more difficult.
Anything else before the embargo? Yeah, sure.
Hi, Pep. Bournemouth sold some of their best players during the summer. Are you surprised at how well they've adapted since?
Yeah, top. That means how coordinated the hierarchy is, the sport directors with the manager, with the players, the clear philosophy. Don't change. Of course, the players, change a lot of things, but it's impressive. So when you lose three or four players for the back four, PSG, Madrid, and Liverpool, and you reinvest the team with new players and do it in that way, is because there are a lot of good work behind.
We saw Nottingham Forest qualify for Europe last season, Bournemouth a second at the moment. How much has the league changed since you've been here, and does that traditional top six still exist, do you think?
Yeah, but I remember when I was in Munich or in Barcelona, always I have the rumor here in England that it's more difficult that everyone can beat everyone. No? Always I had that sense, no, that it doesn't matter, you go away. Maybe Liverpool and ourselves in the past, changed that dynamics, that we were so consistent in terms of points, arriving every season more than 90 points, close to 100 points. But I think Premier League, maybe it's back to always have been, then all the teams can beat it, and it's good. I think, it's like at some point like NBA, that there is not a dominant team, and every last 4 or 5 or 6 years always win one different team in the NBA, that, and everyone can beat everyone. So that, I think, for the spectator, for the show, for the Premier League, I think is really, really good.
Hi, Pep. There's been quite a lot discussed about squad depth over the last few days. How pleased are you with the amount of depth you have in the squad?
No, we're not injured. It's the same depth squad as last season. The question is, this season have less right now. We see in the future, like now have less injuries. But the depth squad, it was quite similar last season.
It just seemed a bit of a surprise a couple of days ago when the Liverpool manager said that teams like yourselves have got more of a...
You will not have my headlines in Daily Mail. I'm sorry. You will not have it.
And can I just ask you a quick one about Foden and Cherky? Obviously, Cherky played really well on Wednesday. How do you envisage sort of getting those two into the same team, because they offer you so much going forward?
Yeah. Of course, it's a real option during the season. Play together in some games, like Omar Mamouche or Erling, in many games. So as much as fit to have a lot of alternative to use him, and I will not be the one who say I don't like this type of players. But after that, have to be realized what happened to play the Premier League in some games and some opponents, and the physicality that they have without Rodri, especially with some players. You have the balance. Like sometimes, especially the first half in Aston Villa, we saw it perfectly, with a lot of talent plays in certain positions, and the other one we are not solid enough, to sustain it. But they will learn the effort from Phil in the minutes they play against Swansea, especially Ryan, that of course he has another attributes. I'm not going to ask the players to be something like has another quality player, another talent, but there are a minimum that you have to do it to be the stable of the team. Otherwise, any transition and any situation created problems. And always we were so good, dominating. What happened in the second half against Swansea? We were there. They didn't run once or twice, nothing. This was define our team. When you play like this, they run, you cannot play in that way. And sometimes when you have a lot of this type of players, that we needed to be creative to give options in this balance. I said, I think after Aston Villa perfectly, the previous press conference before Swansea. And this way to find each other, way to find ourselves. And we will find it.
Can I just ask about Kolo Toure? Is he back now?
Yeah.
And just on the subject of your assistants, which you've changed in the summer, how much of an impact have they had in terms of giving you different ideas and to use this season?
I've been so lucky in my career as a manager since in Barcelona, but especially here, because here in Barcelona and the other one was almost the same, but here we changed a lot, a lot of stuff. I've been incredibly blessed and happy to work with all of them, and all I can say that I think not me, Man City have a Pep Linders and Colo and James in set pieces, or the new people came is a joy to work with them. I'm so really happy, and like it was in the past, but we are talking for this season. I'm learning a lot. The most important thing for me, always I try to have people that can add something in my knowledge as a manager and better and different visions and different things, and I have it this once. We talk a lot, we discuss a lot with, we can do this, we can do that, how you do this, how you do that, and that is so nice, because it's not, it's what you are a manager, to get info for the players, for the staff, but what we can do. The football is not just the pleasure is just played, it's just talk as well, no? What happened, what will happen, what is the situation right now, and how we can help the team. And I feel I feel embrace for all of them, and this is only I can ask.
Pep, obviously last weekend's... Thanks, Pep.
Man United is better, right?
Last weekend was a disappointing result, but in the main you had good results. You're not conceding many goals. You've obviously been in a situation so often before. How far away are the team, or how close are the team to where you want and expect them to be at this sort of stage of the season?
It's about the results, or about the really, truly, I know it.
The whole
if you win, we are close. If we don't win, we are far away. No. You ask me about that, or ask me about really. Still, we are not our best, but we are close. I think I had the feeling, I said a month ago, that had the smell that these words will be completely devastated if you don't get results. I know that, but that the feeling when I see the team, when I see in the dressing room, in the trainings, and how we apply, how we want to try to do things, I had the feeling that when I think Rodri can come in his best, they will not be soon his best, but can help us, and alongside for all the alternatives I can have, we'll be a team that will be difficult for the opponents to beat us, and this is what I want. We'll be there still close to fight. I don't know, but I said from the beginning, since I woke up in the States, I'm really, really optimistic about the team is going to do this season.
Yeah, that was more my question, not less than the results. More, you always talk about that smell,
my feeling,
and that feeling, and you've been very clear in the past sometimes when you're like, I don't feel it. We've not got it at the moment.
No, except last season. Except last season, for the obvious reasons everybody knows. Not about the results, everybody knows, and I said the same at the end. The team making incredible effort the last month, and we finished in a more than decent position in the Premier League, I would say. All the seasons I have the feeling that we'll be fine. Or even the first season. So that we don't win anything, so I had the feeling that we'll be fine.
Set the embargo there for 10:30 p.m. on Saturday evening. Start with Jamie.
Hi Pep. While Rodri is out injured, how do you view your number 6 position? Do you like to rotate it with Matteo or Brian Diaz or Gonzalez, or would you like to have one player who
right now the first option when Rodri cannot play is absolutely Nico. Nico is making steps forward and didn't play against Aston Villa, unfortunately for us, because he was not perfect. He had an incredible knock on the day before. We played again before Aston Villa. I don't remember. Before Aston Villa have a problem in the feet, and that's why it was not perfect for Tijani. But I think in that position he understands more and give us more. There is Nico.
In terms of your team, you used to have Fernandinho in that position. Yes,
Sorry?
You used to have Fernandinho in that position. Yeah. How has your team changed between that team with Fernandinho as a number 6 and sort of Rodri now, or Nico, whoever it might be?
Not much. Had to help us to be. In Premier League, it's necessary to have this physicality as a players for obvious reasons. Everybody knows that it was less, for example, in Barcelona. Even in Bayern Munich, But here we need it. We need this type of a little bit more physicality, but be involved in the process. Our process to play always is massively important. So the structure, when you can always say it, when we have, I said many times, with Leroy and Kevin in his prime, with Leroy and Raheem in his primes, my God, our transitional game was unbelievable. You know, when you don't have Riyad Mahrez or have Bernardo in the sides or any other one, we have less transitional team. So, but the basics or the fundamentals, people ask, you know, have to change. I don't have to change anything. I'm more convinced than anything that what we have done in the past, we can still do it. It's just apply better. So this is what we have to do.
Pep, you yourself have pointed to one problem you perceive, which is a lack of goals from the rest of the team other than Erling. Is this something you're actively attacking, and how long can Erling carry that load?
Yeah,
he's doing it quite well at the moment.
Well, we have an alternative like Sansi. I would not let him play, and the one is going to score a goal because he's not playing. This is the alternative you have to find. No, definitely we have to. The numbers of the people up front have to be better. They know it. We talk about that. So at the end it's numbers, but I think I have players to ability to score goals. Omar have it. Ryan Cherky, I think, have this talent to feel do it, and they're playing good. But of course, that define the big teams or the big players up front is when the impact for the assists and goals is being provided. You know, and that's why I'm so optimistic. Being in that position is still there in Champions League. We are in better than position than the last season, and we have incredible 2 chances in Dortmund, Leverkusen at home to be incredible close to qualifying the first 8 of the season. I think even the results, yeah, we are 6 points behind Arsenal. Like looks like unstoppable right now because they play fantastic. They don't concede goals and they are so solid. They can score from many different situations, positions, and many players. But even with that, I think when we make this step a little bit better, we'll be closer. We'll be closer. We'll be that game time more tighter. We'll be able to win.
And there's no sign whatsoever of Erling growing tired of the responsibility. In fact, he seems to be thriving on it.
I think he's not tired to score goals. I think he's tired. Yeah, sometimes maybe when you play a lot of games, maybe there, and Fancy didn't play. He's fresh, and yeah, when he will be tired, he will tell me. When he will believe you can. Before, maybe in the beginning, now we couldn't do it. Omar was injured. But I can play with a false 9 with Ryan Cherky, for example. I think in that position, Ryan should fit perfectly. So, like I said, when we have all the team, we can play in different shapes and different ways to play it. Sometimes depending on the opponent.
Hi, Pep. You mentioned Nico Gonzalez there. I think you've spoken a couple of times about how you find him a really coachable individual. Just how sort of high do you see his ceiling as he progresses further into his career?
He will be better. When you are coachable, not just for me, I'm talking for his mates, when listen his mates talking, or Rodri talk a lot with him, or Pep talk to him, or whatever. When you are coachable, you will be a better player. So, at the end, until the last day you are a football player, always you can improve. You are open-minded, and there are players they are, and Nico's the perfect example. The other ones, the idea is, but how are you going to tell me, you know? But it's one of the personalities. It's fine, you know. It's in that players I speak less. We talk less, and with Nico is always open and want to learn and do it that. So that's why it's nice to be lived with this type of players. We are here to just tomorrow be better than today. It's not possible. Okay, not possible. But to be better, you have to be open. If I'm closed in mind, only what I know, I don't want to be at absolutely anything. I'm completely the opposite, you know, and the player has to be the same.
You welcomed Omar and Ryan Aït-Nouri back into the team on Wednesday. Obviously, they're both going to be away for the Africa Cup of Nations for a few weeks. Just how much would you feel their absence, I guess, given their qualities that they can provide for you?
That's what it is. A schedule have this competition for the country, so they have to go. So we will. Always I try to solve the problem when the problems are in front of me. So right now I don't think